Hello, everybody, and welcome to ALs RPOs. This is the VR response number 3 for Swing Away Sportscards. Hashtag SAS Fantasy. I know a little bit about fantasy baseball, and we're going to do this in 3 parts. Part 1, we want to shout out some great channels that are just south of 200 subs, starting off with Card Wolf. I love this channel. He's always on the hunt for great cards. He's got this really nice wolf plushie on the table. It's really nice. And then Leaf Fan Down Under, I also really enjoy his content. He does a lot of hockey with his wife. They love the Leafs. They love Austin Matthews. And they do baseball once in a while. And then we got the autograph fisherman, Jon Burgess. We just did a VR for him. He shows off all the TTMs, the through the mail autographs that he gets. Really awesome stuff. Please go check out those channels. You will not be disappointed, I assure you. Part number 2 is who would be my number 1 overall draft pick. And for this one, I could just tell you, but I think it'd be a little bit more insightful to show you. So let me just pick this up right here and change point of views. Oh, wait a minute. Not that one. Hold on. Let me adjust this. No, other setting. There we go. There we go. Now I can show you this. Check this out. So I downloaded this from fantasypros.com. They got a very nice website with a lot of nice data. Here what they did was they took the average draft position of all the players across different places where you can play fantasy sports and averaged them out to give you this average draft position chart. And if you look at it, now I add my own little special extra things. Like, for example, it's hard to read this as you're going down in the middle of a draft. So to make it a little bit easier, I like plotting out in this little grid that I made where the players usually play. So like, for example, Vladimir Guerrero, he's primarily a first baseman, even though he saw some time at DH. Trey Turner is primarily a shortstop, even though he saw some time at second base in LA because of Corey Seager covering short. And then Fernando Tatis, he got hurt last year, so they stuck him in the outfield a couple of times just to minimize his playing, but primarily he's a shortstop. So this helps me see when I'm in the middle of a draft. But the point I want to make here is Vladimir Guerrero had a great year last year. He was tops in a lot of categories. And yet he's going on average 5th, and Fernando Tatis is going on average 1st. How is that a thing? Well, this is why I think that's a thing. Let me show you this other graph that I have here. Boom, check this out. Now here, once again, I downloaded a bunch of data, cleaned it up a little bit, put some color in order to see things better. And here's where there's one extra thing I like to do, and I said I get averages. All right, so runs over at-bats. Home runs over at-bats. And I like to do this because it's going to clue me into one little important tidbit of information. Now, Vladimir Guerrero had a great year, was the league leader in runs, in home runs, and overall in all the counting stats. I like to do an extra column here where I add up runs, home runs, RBIs. This column adds up home runs and stolen bases, so I can see those specialty stats. And then I do averages as well, based on at-bats. Now, Vlad's numbers were tops in runs, in home runs. He would have had RBIs, but Salvador Perez had a great year. And tops in those counting stats, in the runs, home runs, and RBIs. But here's the thing, Fernando Tatis was hurt, so he was limited to at-bats. He didn't even make 500. Look at this. Look at this number right there, compared to the 604 that Vladimir Guerrero put up. So now if you take a look at their averages, that tells the story. Because, well, 123 runs versus 99, on average, based on the at-bats, 0.204 versus 0.207. Look at the home runs, 48 versus 42. You might go, oh, wow, Vladimir Guerrero had the more power. On average, 0.079 0.087. So Fernando Tatis made the most of it compared to Vladimir Guerrero when it came to home runs. Same thing on RBIs. Look at this. 0.18 versus 0.2. Fernando Tatis was on track to do better. And you're adding in his 25 stolen bases compared to 4 that Vlad got last year. On the average, Vladimir Guerrero does a little bit better. But in those counting stats, on average, Vladimir Guerrero was getting 0.467. Fernando Tatis was getting 0.498. Led the league in this number. And that is how come I think that the experts are saying, you know what? We better go with Fernando Tatis over Vladimir Guerrero Jr. In fact, in fantasy baseball, when you're looking over all the stats and you want to have proper balance and stuff, Vlad goes 5th compared to Jose Ramirez, Juan Soto, and Trey Turner there. My favorite player right now of all those is Juan Soto. I really like Juan Soto. I like what he can do. Studying why he's 3rd to Fernando Tatis, that's a subject for another day. But when you ask me who my number 1 overall is, I would say if you're playing for serious, if you're playing maybe in a money league, you better put your money on Fernando Tatis because on average, if he stays healthy, he's your guy. He's the one you want. All right, so now that I've talked about that, let me go back to the table. A moment. And now I move on to part 3, which is what would be the fantasy lineup. For this one, I'm actually going to give you 2. Using that list, let's break it down by leagues. Starting off with the American League right there. Perez, Guerrero Jr., Simeon, Ramirez, Bichette, Trout, Tucker, Robert, Devers, Ohtani. Pitching, we got Cole, Bieber, Giolito, Ray, Sale, Lynn. And closing, we got Hendricks and Iglesias. Name in blue means first rounder. Name in green means second rounder. Name in pencil means third round and below. And those are the third rounders that didn't quite make the cut. Here's the National League. We got Real Muto, Freeman, Albies, Machado, Tatis Jr., Soto, Harper, Acuna Jr., Turner, Betts. Then pitching, Burns, Buehler, Scherzer, Woodruff, DeGrom, and Wheeler. Closing is Hader and Diaz. And those are the ones that didn't quite make the cut in the third round. And now for the cards of these players. I'm new to card collecting, so I don't have all of them, but here's what I got, starting with the American League. Salvador Perez, that's Vladimir Guerrero Jr. at first. We got Marcus Semien at second. Shortstop, Bo Bichette. Your outfield is going to be Trout. In the sepia, Tucker. What's that, a refractor? And Luis Robert with the nice gold cup right there. I got Shohei Ohtani is going to be one of the utility players. Then the pitchers, we got Shane Bieber right there. We got Hendricks, he's going to be a closer for us. Also pitching, we got Giolito. And we got Chris Sale in his old colors when he was with Chicago. Those are the cards I have for the American League. And now, moving on to the National League cards that I happen to have. Starting off with first baseman, Freddie Freeman. Shortstop, Fernando Tatis. Manny Machado taking third. You got Juan Soto right there in the outfield, along with Bryce Harper and Ronald Acuna Jr. Trey Turner and Mookie Betts are in the utility slots. Pitching, we got Corbin Burns. We got Walker Buehler. One of our closers is going to be Josh Hader. Then we've got Brandon Woodruff. We've got Jacob DeGrom right there. And we have Zach Wheeler closing it off. So those are the lineups. Would love to have them, but obviously you can't draft a team like that. Number one overall pick right there, Fernando Tatis, the number one pick for the National League. And then for the American League, it's Jose Ramirez, but I don't have that card, so I'll go the next one on down the line, which is Vlad Guerrero Jr. You can't go wrong with Vlad. And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Shout out to Swing Away Sports Cards one more time. Congratulations on all your success. Congratulations on your awesome channel. And keep hanging in there. Everybody, I hope you're hanging in there. Be taking care, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye, everybody.